Hello and welcome to our 2024 US election night special coverage. We are live with you tonight following what many say is shaping up to be one of the most important elections in recent history. In the next 15 minutes, we'll give you the latest updates on the race, analyze the polling returns as they come in from different states of the union, and take a look at the key swing states that will be crucial tonight. Plus, we'll hear your perspectives from our correspondents on the ground and from you, our African listeners and viewers, about what is at stake in this election. My name is Jackson Mvunganyi, together with my colleague, Mike Hove.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with you tonight. America decides. The 2024 presidential election is a culmination of 4 years marked by significant economic challenges, cultural debates, and key shifts in foreign and domestic policy. This year, Americans will choose between Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee, and her Republican rival, former President Donald Trump.
Over the years, the U.S. presidential election has been more than just a contest of policies. It is a powerful reflection of the nation's direction and priorities. This year's election has brought renewed focus to issues like economic recovery after the pandemic, healthcare, immigration, climate policy, and abortion. It is no surprise that voter turnout is projected to reach record levels.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's delve into it. Jackson, talk to me about the numbers, brother.
Yes, let's look at the numbers. Polls have indicated a tight race with Vice President Harris and former President Donald Trump. The two candidates are neck and neck in several battleground states. However, polling has been known to underestimate support for certain groups of voters, so a degree of uncertainty always remains.
What's fascinating about this election is the specific demographics, such as youth, minorities, and suburban voters. This could tip the scales. So Vice President Kamala Harris has a strong lead among young voters in urban areas, while former President Donald Trump is performing well in rural communities and other voters.
Now, let's talk about the states everyone is watching, the swing states. Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona are once again crucial. Georgia, for instance, has been a battleground state in recent years, flipping from red to blue in 2020.
With that in mind, let us head over to a brief explainer, which will delve deeper into the swing states and how they'll impact the outcome of the 2024 presidential elections.
States are crucial to winning the White House in 2024. These battleground states see the fiercest and most expensive political campaigning, and their voters have significant influence in the election. So how does this work? Most states are predictably red or blue, Republican or Democratic, so their elections aren't competitive. But in swing states, the outcome can go either way. A candidate needs 270 out of 538 electoral college votes to win the presidency, usually through winner-takes-all state elections. Swing states provide the deciding votes, allowing candidates to pass the threshold. This year, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin hold the keys to the White House. Among them, there are 93 electoral college votes that could go either red or blue. These states have thin electoral margins because of a near balance between Republican and Democratic voters. Shifting demographics and competing views between urban and rural areas make the outcomes unpredictable. Even small changes can tip the entire state, giving Kamala Harris or Donald Trump the electoral college edge. We've seen this happen before. In 2016, Trump won Pennsylvania by a 0.7% margin, securing 20 electoral college votes and the presidency. 4 years later, Joe Biden reclaimed the state by 1.2%, helping him win the White House. That same year, Biden won a thin majority of 12,000 votes in Georgia, tipping the state from red to blue for the first time in almost 3 decades. Swing states are unpredictable, but one thing is certain. They hold a massive influence in 2024. In these areas, every vote matters.
Almost it's 10 awful here on the East Coast.
Yes, sir.
The returns are coming in slowly by slowly.
Yep.
As the numbers look right now, we have 188 electoral votes for former President Donald Trump to 99 votes, 99 electoral college votes for Kamala Harris. Talk to us a little bit about these numbers. Where are they coming from?
So, Jackson, and of course the audience, as you can see, these numbers, like Jackson mentioned, former President Donald Trump is already standing at 188 electoral votes versus Vice President Kamala Harris. Oh, it just changed. It looks like we have one of the states that just got called, which is Montana. So, former President Donald Trump is now on 198 electoral votes versus Vice President Kamala Harris, who's at 99. What this means, Jackson, of course, as we mentioned earlier on, throughout the whole day, the first to 270 is declared the winner. So right now, it looks like former President Donald Trump is in the forefront, but none of these swing states have been called. Soon, we're going to be going to Atlanta, Georgia. As you can see, Jackson, 16 electoral votes for Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to be going to Anthony, who's live in that swing state, to hear more. Anthony, what's good, brother?
Hi, how are you, Mike? Good to be with you.
Great. Thanks for joining us. So let's delve into it. You're in Atlanta, ATL. Talk to me about what's happening out there.
Absolutely. So right now, polls have closed at around 7, and actually, in this specific county, really, it's been kind of a little bit of a dramatic finish to the vote day. There were 2 polling places here in Cobb County, in Marietta, in northwest Atlanta, where I'm currently, that had to stay open an extra 20 minutes due to some conflicts, some threats that were reported earlier today. So they got an extra 20 minutes to send in those votes. It was very, very interesting to see. I'm at the Cobb County Board of Elections right now. Right behind me, you can see those votes starting to be counted. But it's been interesting. As I stood outside, I was one of the first to arrive and saw actually the kind of them closing, turning on the closed sign, that they were no longer accepting any ballots, any absentee ballots that were incoming from any individual voters.
Anthony, what can you tell us about the voter turnout? You are in Bellwether County in many ways, and turnout can reflect what is going to come out of that county. How was the turnout today?
Absolutely. So, especially here in Cobb County, we just heard from one of the officials here that the turnout was 78% of the total voting electorate here in Cobb County. And so this is much, much higher than they had seen in 2016 and 2020. But a lot of that turnout, I should say, has come from early voting, where around 60% of Cobb County's eligible voters voted right before Election Day. So making this actual Election Day, the in-person voting itself, really kind of an uneventful day. And so the vote tabulators right here behind me were able to get somewhat of a head start, and were able to get that early vote projection out a little bit quicker. What we're hearing right now, I've heard within the last hour, is that only about 25% of all of the voting precincts are being counted. The absentee ballot room is right behind me, and currently things have picked up a little bit more as incoming shipments are coming in right directly behind me. You can see these green cases that poll workers then transfer in. They then open them up right over here, and then sort them, and then people begin counting them. There are pairs of people that are checking and verifying, and then electronically tabulating them as they come in.
Anthony, in other states we saw on the actual day, that being Tuesday today, the voter turnout was very low, merely because a lot of people had already voted before with the early voting system. What was it like in Atlanta?
At least where I was in Cobb County, it was particularly uneventful. I was actually at the largest polling center, which was the Cobb County Civic Center, and I was there for the majority of the morning, even some into the afternoon, and there was hardly a line at all. Trickles of people coming in. Around lunchtime, people were coming in to vote. Early in the morning, there were a small group of people that really, I guess you say, kind of clogged up the voting process a little bit. But for the most part, people were in and out in under 5 minutes, really making this somewhat of an easy process, a bit of an uneventful thing. Like I know we'd seen pictures of people waiting in these long lines. That simply wasn't the case here, at least in the polling place where I was in Cobb County.
Thank you so much, Anthony. We'll be checking in with you as we continue our coverage tonight. That was Anthony Labruto in the key swing state of Georgia.
We also have Ignatius Arnaud, who's right here in the Capitol at Howard University. Let's see if we can bring in Ignatius. It looks like we don't have Ignatius Arnaud. We're going to try to get him in the next broadcast, Jackson. So let's move on, brother.
Yes.
As we conclude our broadcast, we want to hear from you, our audience who is in Africa, the motherland. We're going to be hearing from our correspondent who's in Uganda, who took to the streets of Kampala to speak with residents.
Let's check it out.
My name is Magandas Vincent, and I'm following the elections, but not so much. But what has interested me mostly is the mature politics of the U.S. elections.
Patricia Stella is my name, Ugandan. About the U.S. elections, I am excited that there is a lady running the race.
My name is Joshua Tashovia. I'm a Ugandan here in Kampala, as you can see. I've been following the U.S. election because the U.S. is an example to everyone worldwide. Everyone knows about the U.S. And I think everyone should be interested because whoever that is in charge, their policies can influence everyone on this planet.
I've been keenly following the U.S. elections, and one of the center points of my interests is the fact that young people have been interested in politics.
Those were some of your voices from Kampala. Obviously, this is a key election globally, so everybody's watching, including in Africa.
Yes,
Mike,
sir.
We have some comments coming in from social media.
Yes, sir. So we're live here on VOA Africa Facebook. Please make sure that you, of course, like the page, share the broadcast. We're giving you live updates throughout the whole night. But here we have John Chege Waido, who says, please inform us on what is going on and who's reading, please, please, please. We need information before we go to work. So as you can see right behind us, right behind us, right there, as you can see, just an update. Of course, former President Donald Trump has the highest electoral votes so far with 198, and of course, Vice President Kamala Harris is on 99. However, none of the swing states have been called, so it's going to be a long night. We're going to be right here giving more updates. We have Richard Moyo who's saying, congratulations, President Trump, in advance you win. So it looks like we have some Trump supporters, and of course, I'm sure the page has some Harris supporters.
As we saw with the young lady saying that she's, supporting.
Of course.
Obviously, there's like here in the US, there's a split on opinion on the candidates. This is quite one of those elections where everybody's watching again from around the world and everybody has an opinion about it. But we're about to close off.
Yes, sir. All eyes on the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to conclude our broadcast for now. Stay tuned to VOA Africa for more election updates. We're going to be back a little later to provide more insight on the race to the White House between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump.
And thank you for joining us for this special coverage. Stay tuned as we bring you more updates throughout the evening. I'm Jackson Mvunganyi, together with Mike Hove. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.